Hi guys, I wanted to take a quick few minutes just to recap what we discussed yesterday in class about reading, the voices that you should listen to, and that type of thing. So students is all a reminder, and co-teachers, of course, you are welcome to listen, and hopefully this will help you know how to help your children as they're reading and doing annotations at home. So we talked about how we don't want to be a NASCAR reader. We don't want to be the kind of reader that just gets it done and moves on. We know that reading is harder than writing because it's invisible. But remember that readers have multiple voices inside of their head. We talked about the reading voice and the thinking voice. We talked about the reading voice being the voice inside that only reads the words to make sense of the words themselves. If your reading voice is the only one driving and you're letting that reading voice scream and go really fast with the get her done kind of attitude, you'll never really understand what you're reading. Our goal is to use our thinking voice more often, and that thinking voice doesn't have to work very hard when you're reading really easy books, but we have to train that voice to know what to look for, to know what to listen to, and relying on that thinking voice more. We have to rely on that thinking voice more the harder the book is for us to read. We talked about some things that your thinking voice might hear if you're listening to your reading voice. You might think of things such as, oh, this is about, this looks like, this sounds like, oh, this part reminded me of, or I'm really confused about. So those are some things that the thinking side might hear while your reading side is reading. Also, there may be aha moments that we mentioned briefly. Contrasts, things like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen. Maybe there's some deep, tough questions that come about as you're thinking about what you're reading. Again and again, things that pop up over and over. Special words to the wiser, some really important phrases or words that you see, or a memory moment if a character pauses to look back and to remember something that has happened to them in the past, thinking about why that might be important to them is helpful. Now, your reading voice and thinking voice talk to one another the whole time you're reading. For example, your reading voice may read the words, "A boy stood on the path of the mountain overlooking the sea." And your thinking voice might ask, well, why is this boy in the mountains in the first place? And is he alone? Another thing your reading voice might read is, he remembered that in the brown mud-roofed town. And then your thinking voice might talk back and say, I can picture those mud roofs, but a brown town? I guess that means it's fairly barren. Maybe it's very dry. Not a lot of grass, clearly. And then your reading voice is going to come back and read some more. Every clump of earth, every cranny in a stone wall would have burst into springtime flower. Oh, okay. Well, that sounds definitely a lot better than dry and muddy. So then your reading voice comes back and reads, remembering he scowled up against the hot noonday sun. And then your thinking voice might say back, really? Scowled? Why wouldn't he be happy to remember spring flowers? And this might be a memory moment where I recognize that the character is remembering. He remembered that in the town. Remembering this, he scowled against the hot noonday sun. So this would be an excellent place to make a sticky note that records your thinking that this character is now having a memory moment. And you might want to ask yourself, why is that important to the story from what we know so far? Remember, you read a little, think a little, read a little, think a little, read a little, think a little the whole time. Now, if you don't make yourself stop and listen to that voice, you might not hear it. The way I told you that we're going to help ourselves is to make tracks while we're reading and thinking. And you probably remember us talking about that sometimes writers will write things down in books. They might write notes, they might highlight, they might underline. We talked about why they may do that. And we are going to do that with annotating on sticky notes. And this is like making tracks in the snow so that we can look back at other parts of the story after we've read on. There's no way you can hold all of those thinking thoughts in your head, so you have to write those down, and we're going to start that. Annotating is always a way to help you become a better reader. It helps you pay attention. It helps you understand what you read. It gives you something to say when we have a class discussion, or it helps you remember what you want to say. It saves you time later. Remember, we talked about how if you have a writing assignment, you have to use text evidence to support your thoughts and opinions, and annotating on these sticky notes, keeping track of these sticky notes throughout the reading is going to save you time when you have to go back and find that text evidence. So annotating just really helps you to understand something that you're reading well. So today you have a reading assignment. As you read, stop frequently and write down on sticky notes what you are thinking. And this can be anything that you're thinking. This is an activity to help train your thinking voice, to help you start thinking about the things that you need to be thinking about while you're reading. You can make as many sticky notes as you'd like, but I would like you to try to write at least 3 sticky notes and no more than 8 that would eventually need to be turned in. And don't forget to try to ignore that distracting voice that comes in your head. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoy what you are reading today. And as you're reading, train your mind to think and write down on sticky notes any thoughts that come to mind.